Hello. Oh, Ellie, I like your picture. That's a pretty good picture. We got people on. Hello, everyone. Mariana's just grabbing her glass of wine. She'll be on shortly. How does it get any better? Hello, Courtney. Hi. Oh, are you guys going to come on camera at all? Otherwise, we all actually, that would have been a great thing that everybody would have had a funny face for their like screenshot. That would have been pretty awesome. All right. We're just putting last minute messages on Facebook, getting last minute people on the call. And I have my sister upstairs who came to join in person. She was so excited. And how does it get any better? Yay, Alina. It's so awesome to see so many people we know online. Ellie, hola. I love your picture. Awesome picture, Ellie.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi.
We're cooking, so that's why we're not showing.
All right.
I mean,
picture will contribute. Thank you so much. Hi.
Hola.
Hola a todos. That's right. All the holiday cooking. Serious stuff. That's serious. Don't go messing up your recipe now.
Yeah.
We are so excited about this call and just the adventure of having this conversation. So there she is. And
Hi, everybody.
let us know if there's too much echo. We're actually tried it. We're trying it and we're in the same room. So how does it get any better than that? I think we're okay.
Yep.
How is it for you? Good?
I think it's good.
I hear you. I hear you.
Cool.
All right.
Hi, everybody. All right. Should we get started or should we give it a couple minutes?
Let's give it a couple minutes. And I think people are joining in and we put up a message.
Yep. Put on
All
a
right.
message.
I just can't stop laughing.
Who else is on video? I want to see somebody else's video.
Everyone's being serious and off camera.
Oh, you guys. So that means you'll turn on the video like after the call because then we won't be serious anymore. Just kidding.
Ellie actually said she was cooking, so she's off camera.
Okay, all right.
So she did pop in to say hi. Oh, there she is again. Where are your glasses in your hat?
that's
like
props.
Nice to see you, Ellie. Thanks for popping
Estamos
up.
aquí, mi mamá, mi hermana, mi sobrino. Entonces, si hacemos bilingual.
Hey, we'll do bilingual. Buenas tardes, buenas noches. Gusto en saludarlos. Hey, feliz fiestas. Hola.
Hola, hola.
Yay. So if you're on camera or on a phone, that's my sister Cindy upstairs. Can you mute yourself, Cindy? I think so.
Yes.
Okay. Or, I mean, you can keep it open if you're not making too much noise.
Can you give me access to control the meeting, Sylvia?
Yes.
Okay, we got some last minute joiners here.
Let's see, handing over controls. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, it's 6 after the hour. Would you like to wait a few more minutes or get started?
Well, why don't we get started? Let me just email this one last thing and then we're ready to rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Cool, let's go.
Let's go, let's go. So thank you everyone for joining us. Mariana and I got really excited just to invite people to some of the fun and adventures that we get into behind the screens, behind camera. So welcoming everybody to kind of our daily journey and play to this free telecall that we created for everyone. And that was, out of the conversations we were having, it was, what if nothing in life had to be serious?
Yeah. So I want to start with a question, like, for you guys. So if you could get anything out of this call, what would it be?
Learning how to be serious and also have fun.
Ooh.
ver,
And
¿qué les gustaría sacar? Si podían llevarse cualquier cosa de esta llamada, ¿qué sería?
Saber cuándo es que hay que usar cada energía, ¿no? Mejor.
So when to use them, when to know what energy to use, okay?
okay, cool. What else?
Y cómo estar de buen humor cuando nadie está de buen humor.
And how to be in a good how to have good sense of humor when other people are not choosing it, okay?
Cool. And then we got from Kara, connection with others who are focused on being more lighthearted. Cool. That's awesome. And another thing that comes up is when the word serious comes up, what does that mean to you guys when you hear the word serious? What is that energy?
It's a serious conversation. No one is saying anything.
Not fun. Okay, Courtney says not fun. So, well, let me start with a story. So, for me, the word serious meant dense. And I mean, that was the energetic feeling, right? So, in my life, I was always really serious because I thought, serious, okay, I can actually feel it, right? When it's serious, it becomes dense. So, all of a sudden, that becomes more real to me. So when I used to get really serious about work or even really serious about life in general, like, oh, there must be some purpose to life or, what's kind of like my mission here, I took that really seriously because that meant to me that I was actually making progress and that it was tangible and that it was something to hold on to. Versus the energy of not serious and lightness was for me like walking on air, and it was like walking on clouds. And for my entire life I've made that not important and I made that not valuable. I was like, because I couldn't feel it and because it wasn't dense. So everywhere where we've made it wrong, when something is not dense because we can't feel it and therefore it must not be real, can we just destroy it and create all that? Let's start with right and wrong, good and bad, fucking pot, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And Kara says in the chat, she says, seriousness equals furrowed brow, tension, stress, holding breath. Wow. Worry and taking things personally. Yeah. So if we start looking at like what the value of that is, like what is the value of all that stuff that doesn't even necessarily is a contribution to our bodies, and it's not like holding our breath, like that doesn't feel good, right?
Sounds like it's gonna kill you.
Yeah. Yet for some reason we've created this value around it in our lives, that we would continue to choose to hold our breath, to be tense, to be stressed out.
Now, I just wanted to say, Mariana just used what we call in Access Consciousness, the clearing statement. So for those of you that have joined us and perhaps have never heard of Access Consciousness, you can always go to www.theclearingstatement.com and get more information about that clearing statement. And basically, we're just going to invite everybody, if you're willing, to destroy and uncreate whatever energy is there blocking with whatever comes up with the questions that we ask. And we'll see how much more space we can create in our worlds. So,
yeah. And there's a comment there from Eileen. She says, I want to figure out how to do all my obligations like laundry, housework, bills, Christmas prep without being so GD serious.
It's called grab a glass of wine.
When in doubt, just drink it out, baby. So Eileen, so that's a great point. So can you speak more about that? Like, what is the value of being serious while doing all that stuff?
Think I heard her chuckle.
Uh-oh.
Are you on?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh.
You're not on mute.
Shit. I don't know what the value is. I don't like it though.
Cool.
Is that a cop-out? Do I know what the value is? It seems really important.
Okay, so is important serious?
I don't think it has to be.
So what's important about doing laundry and bills and
I don't know.
it's an
It's just that it has to get done because you need to have clean clothes and keep the
says
house
who?
running. What?
Says who? Who says you have to have clean clothes?
Oh, like you'd be on the video chat with no clean clothes on.
Exactly. So and that's an energy that Mariana and I were looking at, because there's certain things that we both do that looks like work, and yet for the other person it isn't the energy of work. And one of the things that I've seen, even in my own life, I used to be one that if I was going to have someone over, I was going to make sure the house was clean, the dishes were all washed, and a lot of the day was going on and taking care of those things because they had to be, and I couldn't possibly have dirty dishes in the sink if someone was going to come. But now things are different in the sense, would I like to do them? And sometimes when they pile up big enough, it really is like, okay, maybe now's the time. And then I ask, what could I do different to actually make it enjoyable for me? Because it's not my favorite thing to do. So then I might put a recording, a video, I might watch a movie, put it to the side while I'm doing the dishes. And it's really going like, wow, what would make it fun for me? Because I get it. Yeah, laundry and bills, some of those things need to get handled. So how many things are we choosing in our life on a daily basis as a no choice, from a no choice and an obligation that brings in that energy of seriousness and important and keeps us out of really choosing it and then creating how we'd like it to be.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
So everything that brought up for anyone and everyone, well, you guys try and create all that.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pun puck, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah, so it's like, how many things are we choosing that we'd rather not have or do that keeps us in this serious energy of obligation, responsibility? What else is that? And so
Yeah.
how many of you have certain things in your life where like, I have no choice? Do you guys have some of those in your world where like, I have no choice, I need to pay taxes, I need to do the laundry, I need to make sure my kids have food, I need to. And everything that brings up, well, you guys are starting to create all that.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And the other question I want to ask here, Eileen, is would you still be able to complete all that stuff that you mentioned without the seriousness?
Yes. And sometimes I probably do.
Yeah. And so tap into that for a moment. Perceive that. So if you took away the seriousness and now you're doing laundry and you're paying the bills, you're doing Christmas prep, and there's no seriousness, what is there? What is that? And everything that doesn't allow us to perceive, know, be, and receive that, like where we may not even allow ourselves to even know what's beyond the seriousness we've used as the glue to keep it together in this reality, would we be willing to destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I don't know anything about that, by the way.
It felt a lot lighter when you when we took the seriousness away.
Cool.
It felt a lot lighter, yeah.
And so if you could perceive that energy, that lightness, as if you were a surfer riding on a wave, and now if you could take that wave of lightness and keep riding it, what could you create? And what could your life be like? And what could you choose from and with and as that energy? Yeah. and everything that is and everything that doesn't allow you. Just tap into and start tapping into that ease that you truly be. Where you destroy and uncreate all that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine shorts, boys and beyond.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And here's the thing too, like when I first started tapping into this, perceiving this energy, it feels like there's no floor underneath your feet, or at least that's what it did for me. I was like, whoa, I'm floating. This can't be real, right? Like, how can I get anything done when I'm just floating around? So what's that thing where you put that thing on the ship and then you throw it over the side?
Anchor.
Let me anchor it down with this hefty dose of seriousness and significance, or else I don't know where I am, who I am, what I am without it. Cool. So everywhere where you're using that to be able to feel yourself and know where you are in the context of time and space and in relationship to everything around you and in your life, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pot, going and shorts, boys and beyond.
The other thing is coming up as you were talking, Mariana, is that moment where, I don't know if it was for you so much, Mariana, probably not, but as you were growing up, the more serious you were, the quieter you were, the more focused you were, there seemed to be more reward and acknowledgement for that. Like, you're in school, it's like, wow, es muy seria. There was this common phrase in Spanish, ay, mira que seria. Like, it was valued that you were serious, that you were calm and you didn't move a lot, you didn't wiggle, you weren't too loud. Like, anytime, and I see it with kids and, parents when they're in the grocery store, there's somehow this value in society that if you're calm, quiet, and have it together, that it actually is a good thing. So how many of us have actually been entrained by our families, our society, and our culture to actually be serious? Because that's what's valued and recognized as a good person, kind person, intelligent person, that keeps you from actually being the joy and having that ease and adventure of living, of whatever that may look like for you.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that brings up or let down, will you guys destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pon and pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, I feel like I was actually a perpetrator of seriousness for a long, long time. I actually have 4 sisters. One that's upstairs and she'll vouch for it, I'm sure, is that I was the one that felt that I needed to be responsible as one of the older ones, that calming them down or telling them what to do and what not to do. Like, I was being that energy, and I was being it towards myself and towards them. And I'm so grateful for the Access Consciousness tools, and I'm sure they are too, because there's so much more space and lightness to be in the allowance of what we're all choosing without looking at what's right and wrong. And I get that piece of seriousness oftentimes is tied up to the judgments we have of what it should look like or shouldn't look like of what we're doing. So if we stepped out of all the judgments of what we think we should be or shouldn't be, how we should sound or shouldn't sound, what we should look like and not look like, how much more freedom would you have to be you? And how much more fun would that be for you? And that's you doing dishes, that's you doing laundry, that's you walking down the street or cooking. It's like, how much more ease and fun would that be for you? So everything that is and everything that brings up, will you guys destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, pock, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. All of a
And
sudden it's like, who am I? Yeah.
yes, so thank you for saying that, Sylvia, because everywhere where we've glumped and glued ourselves so tightly with this seriousness and significance that we think that's who we are, where in the absence of the space of that, we don't know who we are. Can we destroy and uncreate all that, please?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, fun and fuck, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Because if you're not serious, if you're not significant, if you're not your job title or your role or even your name or your age or any of that which we've made significant in this reality, then who are you and what are you? That if you would acknowledge and could acknowledge and could step into, would give you everything you've been asking for. So everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate all that.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pot, call and shorts, voice and beyond.
I love it. I don't know how many of you actually know Dr. Dane here, and he's the co-creator of Access Consciousness. And I remember when I met him and Gary in 2 separate classes. But when I first met Dane, he was sitting up on a massage table during class. And here he's, sharing the Access Consciousness tools and being him. But he was so corny. He had all these jokes and what he would say, and he'd jump over words and he would turn things around. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea that was okay. So during a break, I remember going up to him going, thank you so much. It was almost like there was this permission, as he said, yes, I might have ADHD and autism and, all these other stuff rolled into one. All of a sudden my body it just relaxed. It was like, wow, like I had not been aware of how much I was constraining or holding my body together or whatever I thought, all that order that I needed to be, that by seeing him choose to be him as he is, not that I have to be like him, but just knowing and seeing the ease in his world to be all of him was such a gift. And I've heard stories after stories of people that either get really irritated with him or upset because he's so goofy and can be loud. And he's learned to either turn it up and also be in the question, like Elena said at the beginning, it's like, what's required here? Not like you have to be that all the time. And it's like every situation may require a different energy. But wow, how much what percentage are you allowing you to be you, whatever that might look like in your life? And that's been the adventure for Mariana and I. And we actually played a game this last week as the class was coming up, which was a blast. So we played this game. We're like, all right, for the next week, we catch each other being serious. That's $1 paid to the other person. I should have brought my jar. No. So it was really looking at, wow, where are those moments of our seriousness? Maybe it's easy in certain areas of your life to be you and have that, play and adventure of living. And maybe these other areas, it's like, maybe it's at work, maybe it's certain relationships and you go into very serious mode. So we caught ourselves a couple times.
Guess who has the most money in the jar? Guess who paid the most for being serious? Me. I was like, I'm not losing this. Pretty soon I was putting in dollars and $50. I'm like, what?
I would text her and I'd be like, are you having a serious moment?
She could perceive it. And here's what happened. I was like, oh, no problem. Like, I'm super lighthearted. Yeah, all this stuff. But it creeps in. So there was a moment I was talking with somebody or something, some event had occurred. And it's like the seriousness and the significance was like a cloud that just dawned upon me. And before I knew it, I was like taking a shower in it, right? And it's like, I didn't even know I was in it. And then Sylvia goes, are you being serious right now? And I was like, you know what came up for me? Anger.
Fucking bitch.
I was angry because I'm like, okay, no, like, stop it. Like, we're not playing anymore. This is serious. Like, this doesn't count. This is really serious. And it was like, whoa.
She didn't want to pay.
So it's like, how many back doors do we have for ourselves where it's like, no, but this is serious, okay? Like, if I get like a parking ticket, that's serious, okay? If I have to pay my taxes, that's serious. In like just other areas, right? Like somebody was texting me and I think my feelings got hurt. And I'm like, no, this is serious. My feelings are hurt. Like, this doesn't count anymore, okay? I don't want to play.
Sign out.
Like, I just like tap out, right? So, but it really was a game in catching all those places where it's like, wow, I'm still making that significant. So what I did is in those moments, I'm like, okay, cool. So I see that I'm making this hugely significant. I'm going to lower my barriers right now. So really what that means is like energetically, you know, when like somebody's like coming at you, or like you have a friend and they're not being nice, whatever the thing is, and you energetically like just resist it because you just don't want to let it in. So lowering your barriers is like literally like energetically like stop the resistance. It's like, I give in. All right. I give in totally to whatever is up for me right now. And the magic thing is, like, you would think it would get worse, right? Like, oh no, I'm going to let it in. But as soon as you lower those barriers, where you're just like lowering to the ground, baby, like, nope, no arms raised here. Boom. It disappears. It transforms.
So it's great because over coffee, we were looking at that and we were talking, and we're like, wow, when we're serious about something, is that actually the creation of those walls of separation, what we're calling barriers? Are those the moments where like, oh no, this, and all the definitions of what it means either about us or about them or all of that, but is that the building of those barriers when you're making something serious? So the gift of this exercise that I invite you all to play as things come up for you, it's, you know, what Mariana just shared, it's like just simply telling yourself, I'm going to drop the barriers. When you perceive that seriousness and you got that for, you know, the whole bit, it just lowering those barriers, lowering those barriers, lowering those barriers, and see what shows up for you. This really is just an adventure of trying these tools and see what shows up.
Yeah.
And would you truly be willing to have the lightness, like no matter what shows up? Like even when it's heavy, like having the lightness of that. I mean, there's moments in my day where there's an intensity, there's a heaviness, and it's like, wow, that's like, what is that? But it's not from the significance, just the awareness of what it is and acknowledging, wow, whatever that is, that's heavy. And then I ask more questions like, wow, is this mine? And, you know, do I require to do anything with it now? Different questions that'll, you know, either I look at it deeper or I just let it go.
Yeah. And if you catch there what Sylvia is saying about having that distinction between perceiving a heaviness and being the heaviness, right? So it's almost like if you look at Sylvia, the heaviness is here. It's like away from, she's like, wow, I perceive this heaviness. I perceive this seriousness, this significance, this drama, trauma, whatever. But she doesn't put it on like it's hers, like it's me, like, oh, I'm upset now. I'm just like, wow, I notice there's some upset now. So that gives you the breathing room, the space to not be that and to have choice. So when we become it, when we take it on as ours without asking the questions, right? Like, who does this belong to? Or whatever other questions.
Any question.
Any question.
What is this?
What is this? What can I do? Yeah. So when we become it, we steepen it much longer. And then we kind of get confused. Like, I don't know about you, but I get confused, right? When you're in that. But the gift of perceiving, and then from there, asking the questions. So some of the questions that, like you heard Sylvia just ask, so 4 questions that you can play with when you perceive the significance or you're going into seriousness. Number 1, what is this? Like, what is this? Wow, cool. What is this? And you're not looking for a cognitive answer for something from your brain. You're just looking for an energy. You're just perceiving an energy. What is this? Something comes up energetically. Okay. The second question, what can I do with it? Energetically, something. Can I change it? Energetically, something. If so, how can I change it? Energetically, something. And then notice, is there a difference? Has something shifted? Is it lighter? Do you have more space? Is it denser? Notice what's going on and acknowledge that something if it changes, that something has changed. So that's how you start to unstick yourself from the heaviness of the seriousness. This conversation's getting really serious right now. I think I should pay $1. What happened?
There's something there too, like, one of the things, I've been playing with the Access Consciousness tools for 5 years, and someone asked me, it's like, well, why do you continue to go to class? Why this work and not other work? And there's something about the irreverence, of the two co-founders, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here, but there's a piece where there is this play of the tools and the space of allowance for you. So I invite you, whether, if you've listened to any other work, it's like, play with the tools, be kind with you, and know that it does take maybe some practice building that muscle of being kind with you, having more allowance with you, to actually perceive the energy you truly be. Mm-hmm. That, because now what I'm aware of too, that we all have this power of actually saying no. There's this, funny, hilarious YouTube clip. I'll post it up on the group, the one about the therapist. I don't know what the title is, if you do, Mariana. But it's so funny because he's going in, this lady comes in with a very serious issue, and he gives her this, session of, and we'll have to put it up. I'm not going to give it away.
I think it's just called Stop It. And actually, the one who showed me the video is Kirk, who's on. Hey, Kirk.
And it's a great video because it is this reminder that we do have choice. So one of the things that I end up doing recently, because Mariana's been a great gift. So we're rooming together at the moment, and she asks me lots of questions. She goes like, well, what are you doing? Like, how do you do that? And it's not things that I've had to put into words. But one of the things I noticed recently is that as I perceive something like what that heaviness is, it does not match the energy that I be. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to look at it. And it doesn't mean that I'm not willing to change it, to look at what's required. But what I begin to do now is it's coming here, because it's all of a sudden like thoughts, feelings, emotions, judgments of myself or other people. And it creeps in, and I'm like, no. It really is like, building my muscle and going, no. And then, because once that I can give myself that space, it's like, okay, what other choice do I have here now? But as it's coming in and closing in, there is no choice, because that thought, that feeling, that emotion are overtaking what you think you should do, how you think you should be, what's wrong with you, what do you need to fix. But if you allowed yourself to say, no, that isn't the energy I'm choosing in my life. What else can I choose? And that's where that, I think it was Elena who said at the beginning, but it's like, that's an energy that I have invited more in my world recently than before, but it's the demand that I will have that lightness and ease in my world, no matter what it takes. Even when I'm speaking with my ex-husband, as he's talking about all the rules he has for my son that I'm not doing, and that was an afternoon question. I think I need a couple dollars in the jar now from Mariana. Yes. But I was aware of it. And then it was also aware of like, okay, if I would have laughed or chuckled in that conversation, he would have been pissed. So how many people do you have in your life that are so bought into the seriousness and significance of certain issues that you've bought in that you should be that way? Because if you're not that way, then don't have any reason or rhyme or whatever to be how you are. So everywhere you haven't been able to justify the joy and the ease you have in the face of someone's judgments and conclusions and decisions, that keeps you from choosing to be that space and that joy and that ease just because you can. Will you guys destroy and create that for all eternity? Right and wrong, good and bad, pun, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Celia.
You're welcome.
The other thing I want to ask you guys on the call is, when you are creating and tapping into that lightness that's there, that you are, what do you create differently than when you are in serious mode and significance? So if you just take a moment and notice the difference. So as you guys, and I'd love to hear from you guys. So if you could put in the chat or just unmute yourselves. And while waiting for that, what I've noticed is when I create from a lightness, like this class was created from a light space, I create faster. I create more joyous, more people come. And there are no it's just smooth sailing when it's created from the lightness that I be. When I create from the seriousness and the thinking and the way I should do it, it's just not as smooth. It's just not as fast. Things take longer. They maybe don't come to fruition. But all of a sudden, when I create from the lightness, it's like I tap into my superpowers.
Say what?
What? Faster, more money, things that don't make logical sense.
What?
Yeah. So one thing that I've been aware of since I came to the planet is that there is a magic available to us here. But I never saw it. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Right? And I tortured myself my entire life up until now because I'm like, I don't see it. So it must not be here. So therefore, I don't want to be around because I just don't see the magic. Okay, so the piece here is, it's kind of like, do you remember in the 90s, there were these images where it was just like all scrambled, but if you look hard enough, something would appear, like a dog or something. Yeah, and then you'd be like, oh my God, it was there the whole time. Okay, that's, for me at least, how subtle that switch could be. Okay, so the lightness is just right there at the seriousness. There's the lightness as well. If you can drop your barriers and receive it, if you can receive it. So that magic for me starts to get activated when I start creating and choosing from the lightness, as lightness.
And the piece to add here with what Mariana's talking about, that lightness, is also that lightness doesn't mean you're a doormat. It doesn't mean that you just let people, do what they want and you're at the effect of whatever they're saying or doing. It does not mean that. You can still be totally aware of what people are choosing and how they're being. You can call someone an asshole, not because it's a judgment, but it's because who they're really being. And that's going to feel light. So everywhere that any of us that have bought that lightness means to, one, always be smiling, or two, that it means let people do whatever they want, would you guys be willing to destroy and uncreate all that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Yeah, it's almost like as you choose to be that space of lightness with no barriers, you will be aware more of what people's agendas are, what they're up to, and actually see things, but not from the judgment of it, but just the space of like, hey, I'm willing to know. And I don't have a point of view about it, but I'm willing to know, and then I have choice. So everything that brought up, well, you guys are starting to create all that. Right, wrong, good and bad, pun, puck, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And I love it. Someone's got superpowers. There was 2 pictures in just a moment. We lost you, Kurt. So we would love to hear from you guys. We have about 20 minutes left. So would anybody like to really kind of look at like what area in their life is definitely a serious one? Like there is nothing else that they see as possible in that. And, the gift of you guys sharing what's up for you, what seems so true and real to you, and being willing to look at it and change it is a gift for all of us.
And also, as that's happening, there's a comment here from Courtney in the chat. So she says, I'd also add that when I follow the lightness, it's all me. When I follow seriousness, it's including others' points of view. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many of us have been living our life based on other people's points of views? Are you guys willing to shed those off?
Yes.
Yes. But maybe not all of them. This really isn't about that you need to do it this way or do anything. It's like you choose what's going to work for you. Maybe one today, maybe one tomorrow, maybe none at all. But it's like, what would you like your life in reality to be?
Mm-hmm.
There's some more coming in here. Karina says, so for me, I do seriousness in relationships and money because it's how it's done, according to my mom.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So is it working for you, Karina? Hell no.
No. Hell no, we won't go.
If I can jump in, hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Kirk.
Kirk.
There's in my house. There's always seriousness over holidays. When I head over to my mother's or a relative, there's this. Everything has to be on the buffet in exactly the right place, and the beans and all this timing, and there's this structure. And for the last couple of years, I've just taken myself out of the craziness of that, and just kind of dipped in and went, hi, how's everybody? And wait as long as I can until it gets too heavy, and then I bounce away. It's a very different perspective for me, especially during holiday time when it's so structured.
Yeah.
And really the gift of like, wow, you know, how much fun can you have with that? And also one of the things I got recently, a couple years ago, maybe there was a Thanksgiving and kind of short notice, maybe a day or two before the gathering, my father calls me up and it was a text with a red exclamation mark, which I didn't even know he knew how to do. So I call him, it's like, what's the emergency? And he's like, can you please find me a mariachi? I'm all, okay. 2 days notice. Do you have a budget? Like, okay. So I found a mariachi. So I thought like, hey, we're going to have a big fiesta. You get a mariachi, right? You're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And it's just, you know, I got all dressed up and here I go. I walk in and there's people there and some are inside, some are outside. Nothing's organized. My dad's in his overalls, like he rolled out under a work truck. And I'm going, like, I'm thinking, Dad, go change. Like, look at, nothing's organized and I'm ready to like, I'm actually wasn't ready. I was having my nephews bring in chairs. I was reorganized. And then I stopped myself and I said, wow, this isn't important to anyone. Like, it's not important to anyone. So it's like that piece of where, you know, we catch either ourselves doing the order or other people doing the order. And are we willing to have allowance? So it's like, wow, that isn't valuable to them. That isn't important. And it doesn't make a difference in this moment for anyone. So I stepped back and I thought, okay, what would be fun for me right now? So I love doing energy work. So one of my aunts walks in and she had just twisted her foot and I'm all, hey, can I place my hands on your ankle? And she's all, yeah. So she sat there, I sat with her, I ran some energy work. But it was really the question, two things. One was noticing who I was being, like trying to impel my point of view on how they should be. So once I was able to step out of that and then ask the questions like, what would be fun for me? Then I enjoyed the rest of the afternoon. I was doing what was fun for me. I enjoyed then really looking at, it's like everybody's choosing what works for them. It's not right or wrong. And so it's like, wow, everywhere we've like have judged either that structure is wrong or right, or, and like, what would it be like to be and go, everyone's like, wow, that's how they do it here. What would be fun for me? And it sounds like, Kurt, you're choosing. It's like, hey, I'm going to choose this and be this way. And when I'm done, I'm done. And not right or wrong. It's just like, wow, that works for me. So what would it take for all of us to have a little more of that in our lives? And especially during the holidays. Thanks for that, Kurt. And anything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good and bad, pun, pock, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
And there's a piece too with the holidays. So the other part is like, how much can we also receive from that if we lower our barriers completely? Like, I remember I was driving to Thanksgiving and I was going to my family's house and I was driving and I was like, okay, I'm already like stressed out from all these interesting points of views that I have. And from the past and my relationships. And I thought, oh, my family's going to judge me. They think I'm nuts, you know, like just following the lightness, like, oh, who is this? You know, she's crazy kind of thing. And I was getting worried because I'm like, no, I'm not going to be able to be myself. I'm not going to be able to be myself. I was getting like anxious. And then I was like, well, let me try something different. What would happen if I just lowered my barriers, like completely to the ground? below the ground, into the earth. And this is as I'm driving. I'm not even there yet. Okay, I'm going to lower my barriers and see what's there behind all these walls I put up against my family, right? I lowered my barriers, and what was actually behind or beyond the barriers, for the first time in my life, I saw the love that my sister had for me. Like so much caring that she would do like she does because she cares for me so much. And I was like, oh wow. Like that was the monster under the bed. It was just love for me. So I allowed myself to receive it. This is all energetically. I'm still in the car. And I'm like, and all this like love or lightness just flowed out, felt like it flowed out of my heart. And I just covered her and the entire family and the house and myself and the dinner and everything. And I walked into that house and it was the lightest it's ever been in my entire life. Everything changed. So this is like where we start to practice your point of view creates your reality as well. So how much can we receive? And then I was able to be my goofy self and say crazy ass things and piss people off. I had wine when people weren't drinking. I'm like, I do what I want. But like not from a disrespect, but just from an allowance of me, because now I was an allowance of them being them, which gave me the allowance of me to be me. And it was fun. And it was lighthearted. And then when I was done, I was like, bye, this was great. And it allowed me to have gratitude too.
I love that story.
Yeah.
Well, we have Karina who is put on the chat. She's gone like, hell no, I'd like to change it, please. So she goes, so here it is. I have an asshole, well, two in my life, and I have ended the relationship with him. He comes with a superior bitch, and they don't get it. I see the agenda they have and the reality. I don't want, need, or desire them in my life. So there's a couple of things there. And what do I do to get him out permanently? So this next piece that I'm going to share with you might be one of the hardest ones to get. And one is, and Mariana started to tap into it, that our point of view creates our reality. So as things are showing up in your life, one is, have you acknowledged that you created it? And two, what is it that you love about it? Which, if you could punch me through the screen, you might have already. But there's something there about when we start to acknowledge, what do I love about this? And and it's like, well, nothing. It's like, okay, keep asking, what do I love about this? And there is a gift and a shift that occurs when we can acknowledge there's something we love about it. And sometimes we love the resistance of something. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I hate that. It's like, okay, well, what do I love about hating that? So it's this ongoing, because there's like, once you're not resisting it, once you're not having that what is that battle, but that there's in space to go, okay, like I love this about it. I love that about it. It's like, all right, cool. Then if you'll notice, there's like those walls, they start to fall to the side, and then you can choose something else.
Okay, so can I be vulnerable?
No, not allowed.
It's gonna sound so stupid, but I was smiling, so I know that's what it is.
Okay.
I was chasing this man for 2 years, and he wouldn't pay attention to me, and now it's like, fuck you. You deserve to come after me, and good. I'm glad that you're there. Now you're gonna get your shit. You're gonna get it right back. And so it's kind of like, ha 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 ha. Now it's my fucking turn to do the same shit back to you.
So are you having fun with that?
Actually, I would love to say I'm not, but the truth is I'm having fun with it. I'm like, cool, I'm glad you're sweating over there. Cool, keep trying. It's not going to ever happen, but, keep trying. And then I catch myself saying ever and ever, and I'm like, pot and pock that, because the more I say it, the more I'm going to create it, so fuck that. But yeah, you are right. Right now I'm fucking loving it, because he's doing everything and anything, and it's like, motherfucker, you could have done this 2 fucking years ago, and now you're choosing to fuck you. So yes.
So awesome, Karina. Like
That's awesome.
you're really getting how much you're actually enjoying it. So maybe the next question is like, are you done with it? Or would you like to enjoy it some more? And how much energy are you using of your creative capacities to create your life and beyond this to relish in all of this?
Yeah. I guess I'm really savoring it then.
And you can. I don't want to take it away from you.
No, I think I want to really just put my creative juices elsewhere now. I'm good. It's been probably a good 4 months of it. I think I should be over it. But it's just kind of just so delicious to me, you know?
And this is the piece, like really, like if you weren't taking it serious, it's like, I want this to change. Because how many people are saying they want something to change and they really don't? There's still something about it that they're getting out of it. Again, there's no right, no wrong. If there was no judgment that you had of you, of how you were doing or what you were choosing, and just like, wow, this is what I'm choosing. Cool. Am I really enjoying it? Yes. Like, is there value in it? Cool. And when it's not, when you're really done with it, you'll choose something different. And until then,
yeah, I think I'm getting there pretty soon. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And that's the gift of the questions that I love about Access. Like when I asked her, what do you love about this? She goes, wow, I'm smiling. That will be an indication, even though you're like, no, but you got this little smirk, that will be an indication that there actually is some value there, that there is something there for you to acknowledge. That might not be what you thought it was. So thank you for that, Karina. Anyone else? You're welcome.
Yesterday, Blossom put out that similar question. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't.
It was, what do you love about not having everything you desire?
Yeah.
And when I read that, it was like, oh my God! It's like really, it just hit me, and I started to laugh, and it just like Karina did it with the whole thing. It was just, oh boy, now okay, start looking at it.
That's awesome.
And it really got me into it, and it's a great question, and that's why I had to write it down. So I can read it on a daily basis or even an hourly basis.
So how much does that then create more ease in your world? Just to have the acknowledgement.
It does. I mean, it created a lightness in the fact that I'm able to recognize that there is a bunch of crap that that is there. That I'm doing something that I love because it's holding me back from what it is that I really desire. So it definitely it was a phenomenal question for me. And, I really and truly am, enthralled with the fact that you brought that one up for everybody else, because it is a great question.
And it's oftentimes one that people don't want to look at because they're like, I don't love any about this. This sucks.
I know.
I couldn't possibly love anything about all the fighting I have with my son or my ex-husband or my bills. There couldn't possibly be something I love about that.
Yeah, it's like, what do you mean I love this? Well, that's BS. I don't love this. What are you talking about? You do.
And that's the cool part too about starting to take the seriousness and the significance out of all of it, because then we can start to laugh at all the silly little stories, just all the stuff. It's just like, God, like, oh, really? Like, wow, that's a good one. Like, that's a good one. I created that. Wow.
Yeah, the other day I was in just a down mood, and I was really crappy, and Dane had a video that he came out with, and I just turned the video on, and it was a 16-minute thing, and I just sort of, but with him, like you said, you can't help but laugh with him. And it just totally changed my whole mood and everything else. There's like, I don't know what the hell's going on, but this is not serious at all, And it just changed everything for me. It was wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And so I invite all of us, like, wow, who are we truly? That we've never claimed, own, and acknowledge. That if we were to claim, own, and acknowledge the space, the consciousness, the energy that we be, would create more of that ease, that joy, and that glory in the world. So anything that doesn't allow you to tap in to the energy of you, and if right now you're like, hell, I don't know, just keep asking, what is the energy of me? When do I feel the most me? And it really is this ongoing adventure of like, oh, wait, that felt the most me today. Okay, tomorrow. Oh, that felt the most me. Cool. And it's just like continue to play that, because as each one of us chooses to be more of who we truly are, that invites more people to choose that for themselves.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
So,
also, like, when you start following the light and what's light for you, you will create a life of lightness. That's a guarantee. So the more light that you be and that you choose and that you create, the more light you will see everywhere. So it's like your life, which is already cool, starts to become even effing cooler. Right? It's effing awesome. So that's the other piece. It's like you do get rewarded instantly. Not only do you feel good because you're being you, but life is good to you. And the life that you create is just a light life, you know?
so if you could choose to add anything to your day in this holiday season, in the midst of whatever's showing up, what would you like to add? You know, one of the energies I really enjoy is the energy of celebration. And Mariana has witnessed, like, I'm celebrating everything. Like, oh my gosh, you know, I put on my shoes on the right foot. Yay! But this energy of, like, what can we celebrate? You know, the gratitude of the world, you know, the clean dishes finally, you know, or whatever it may be. It's like, what is it for you? What's the energy you would like to have more in your life? Is it the energy of gratitude? Is it the energy of playfulness? Is it the energy of calmness? Is it the energy of just like more sex or whatever it is for you? It's like you get to say, you get to ask for that. And if you don't have an idea what that is, just start writing it down, start making a note. Oh, that energy. You'll see either in other people or as you're driving by or as you're at a concert, wherever you may be, start to ask for it. And then just literally ask and you shall receive. So, wow, I would love more play in my life. Universe, show me where, who, what can I add to my life to have more of that energy? And then just drop those barriers and receive. And I would love to hear what you guys end up doing different or receiving different in your world after this call. I know that it has invited us to really acknowledge and have it more in our day to day. Because when you acknowledge what's true for you, it will expand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things I got to see out of the game Mariana and I played. All of a sudden, it was like, oh, wait, you know, I'm still happy. And then I'd be through the day and I'd be doing other things like driving, singing along late at night and going, oh, wow, there's still that energy of like, I'm happy. And one of the things that I acknowledge is the gift of that is to know that I am choosing it all every minute, even when it's crappy. So everywhere you haven't acknowledged you are the one in the driver's seat. You are choosing every part of it. And once you acknowledge that, you get to change it if it's not working for you. And if it is, enjoy it, indulge in it. It's not right or wrong. You get to say how you would like it to be.
And you can still have light-heartedness and light with things that are heavy for you.
Say what?
Say what? Like the other day I went to the gym. I got on the treadmill and I'm all like, I feel fat. I'm ugly. I'm fat and ugly. I went to all this stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. How much can I enjoy feeling fat and ugly? Like, yeah, I'm horrible. Like, I'm so fat and ugly. And then it's just to start to laugh. Like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Like, you know, right? So it's just like, you like disarm your own bomb, you know? It's just like, okay, I just made this whole thing up. Come on. So you just start to laugh because it's so ridiculous. So, I mean, I think I like eaten one piece of bread and I'm like, oh, I just gained 10 pounds. I'm like, okay, this is so dumb. It's not even funny. Okay.
Oh, I love it.
Everywhere where you're not willing to laugh at yourself too.
So we have I have an invitation here. And you guys, I can give you, my email address is my PayPal account. So if you want to play the game for a week and every time you're serious, send us $1. We would be more than happy to receive. Because it's interesting, as you're playing a game and then have money on the line, you will catch yourself.
Oh yeah. Even if it was $1, like I start being stupid, I'm like, oh hell no, I'm not paying $1. Fuck no. I'm like, I'm gonna get out of this right now. Return to sender, punt. I don't care what I need to do. Like, it's cool.
Yeah, so I so desire you guys to be the difference that you be, and be whatever you're choosing to be out in your world and your family, and wishing you guys all the most merry of holidays, with whatever you're choosing. It's not right or wrong. What's working for you?
Yeah.
That's all it is. And what if nothing, really nothing? I mean, we weren't kidding. We used the word nothing, like no thing had to be serious in life.
Mm-hmm. How much fun could you have with you? Cool. All right, guys, we'll send you the replay and let us know what changed for you. I want to hear the stories.
Thank you. Don't expect a lot of dollars. I'm just saying.
I don't know. I'll be
Thank
texting you. Are you being serious?
She can perceive it from a distance. I mean, I was like upstairs. I'm like, are you watching me? I'm like, come on.
I smell it.
And she's like, no, I can smell it. You're being serious. I'm like,
What does serious smell like? Yeah.
Start
like
asking. You might be aware.
it smells like $1. That's what it smells like. That I had to pay. All right, guys.
All right, everyone. Bye.
Bye.